Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat, and we're going to work on the calendar journal today. So I'm not sure what all exactly I'm going to do, but I'm just going to work on putting some more pockets and things into it. If I suddenly have to go, it's because I am waiting for my Glowforge to be delivered today. So, and of course you have no clue when they're going to come, they're just going to show up. So anyway, I may have to go, but we will get started and see where we get. So you guys saw this, I think, yesterday, and so there's March. So this little pocket I made with the umbrella, and that's from that Raining Cats and Dogs from Graphic 45. It was scraps that I had left, so I used it up on one of those little pockets that we made together. I just added fabric to it and some little tiny tags. So all I did is put little squares of fabric and then kind of a longer strip and stitched through it. And just to give them, you know, a little more color since it is for April. It's like, you know, April showers bring May flowers, but, you know, whatever. We're going to have some flowers here too. So those just fit right in there. And then I did do a little fabric cluster there to put on the bottom of that. So that is all ready. So now we're on to May, and this is an image from my 1923 digi that's in my shop, and this is one of those pockets that we made together using the Distress Oxides, and I just stamped it and stuff like that, and I thought she would be pretty on here. We'll have to cut the bottom off, but that's okay. And this is a Tim Holtz flower, and I think I'll do some other stuff to that, but that's where we're gonna get started for today anyway. Move that out of the way, I don't need that right here. So how are you guys? I hope you're having an awesome day. Welcome to any new subscribers, and of course welcome back to all my awesome subscribers that have been with me for a while. I hope you guys are all healthy and doing well. I've had a few people say they've been sick, which is such a bummer. So hopefully, I mean, it is that time of the year where we do get, you know, even if you're not getting COVID, but, you know, flu or just colds and general yuckiness. So anyway, hope y'all get feeling better. Thank goodness for crafting, right? And crafting videos. I really had fun yesterday making that pocket for Dee Dee's new pocket, you know, challenge to make like an idea book, because like I said, I've wanted to do it forever and I just procrastinate, and then I never do it. So it's awesome that she's doing that, and I'm just going to do that on Tuesdays. I kind of forgot to mention that yesterday when I did that video, but I'll probably just be, you know, doing those on Tuesdays. So it's, yeah, and I did leave a link in my video if you wanted to see, because Dee Dee's gonna have a playlist. She may already have made it, I don't know, I just haven't, I've been watching her pocket videos, but I didn't check her playlist. But yeah, of all the people that are going to participate in that, and everybody can do it different. You don't have to do it every day or whatever. You can choose when you want to do it. So that's kind of why I chose once a week. I thought that was probably all I could manage at this point. I've got quite a few other projects on the burner at the moment, and a few ideas for the new year of things that I want to accomplish this year. You know, to help kind of grow my business, and part of that is the Glowforge. That was meant to grow my business. So it is an awesome, fun gift, but it's also meant for my business, not just to play with. So that's kind of the plan anyway, is to, and I may try to do like some you know, sort of like classes that I record for anybody that's interested, but I haven't figured out the logistics of all that, but I'll let you guys know once I get more of that figured out. I was going to do it last year and I just never could wrap my brain around it. Sometimes I'm a horrible procrastinator and it takes me a while to wrap my head around it, and then once I do, you know, it usually isn't that difficult. I don't know why I do that, but that's what I do. So okay, now I got all that inked, and then think I'm going to use a piece of this doily. I don't remember where I got these. I think it was Michael's or someplace like that. Sorry. Not very helpful sometimes with that kind of stuff. I try to remember, but I've had them for a while, so it's sort of one of those things that you just sort of forget where you got them, but I think it was Michael's. Either there or Hobby Lobby. Somebody might be able to tell us that knows where you can get those. Pretty sure it was Michael's. I think I'm going to do something like that. Kind of want some behind the flower, but I guess that would work because that flower's pink. It's a lot of pink happening. Okay, turn it this way more. Have the flowers. Okay, so maybe I'm swapping sides now. Sorry, sometimes this, my brain trying to make it work takes a minute. And then this, and her on this side maybe? Yeah, I kind of like that better, just so that I can have something behind there that breaks that up a little bit so it just doesn't look like a pink blob on top of pink. I might go ahead and take my pink Distress Oxide and put a little on that. Just want a little. I don't want it to be like, because that will defeat our whole purpose, right? Just to give it a little bit of color. Yeah, you guys will have to tell me what you've got going on for your New Year's projects. A few of you have gotten that calendar digi, so I'm hoping you're enjoying it and making some, or a calendar at least, for yourself. Yeah, something like that I think is what we'll do. Okay, so I need glue to do that corner. And this is always interesting with doilies. I'll get it over here before I get glue all over my mat. And I didn't really want glue in that top corner, and I still did it because I'm dingy like that. Because there's nothing up in that top corner. I don't know what I did with my little card. Like I said, I've moved everything, and then I can't find stuff. Still. I haven't had a ton of time to craft, you know, without videoing lately. It seems like we've had doctor's appointments and all kinds of stuff going on. Took my son back to get his stitches out today, so that was good. So he's all done with that project. I mean, it's been nothing serious, just all kind of stuff that you gotta do. I'm going to put art glitter glue on the back of this. And my art glitter glue stopped oozing out of the top. I don't know what that was about yesterday. That was really bizarre. Never had it do that before. Must have been kind of like caught in the little cone at the top or something. I need to clean out the little metal thing and refill the bottle. That looks pretty. Oh, I forgot I was going to tuck part of that. Well, maybe I can get part of her elbow kind of under the flowers a little. So let's see, where does that go to? I don't really want to cut it until I have it where I want it. I think it'll be about there. It's a bummer to cut her legs off, but it's the only way it's going to work. And I don't need to use art glitter glue on her, but I'm just going to, because she's on a really lightweight cardstock. Yeah, my 1923 Digi was one of my early Digis. I really like the 20s. Okay. Now we need to figure out what to do with the card that's going to go inside of the pocket. Oh, why are you lifting up like that? Did I lift that and not even realize I did that? Birds are outside just singing away today. The sun is shining for the first day in quite some time. We had lots of rain and stuff, and so they get all bebopping around and singing away. Like it's not spring quite yet, guys. I understand your excitement, but all right, what are we gonna put on that? Don't know. I don't know if I want another flower because there's already a flower on that. I could do, I've got a few pieces of the 1923 paper here. Could use those for scraps that I'm, like I said, I've been going through my file folders of digis and trying to use some of this stuff up because it's just out of control. Okay, I think I want to do something like come down further. And then I'm going to tear part of this out up here. Yeah, something like that. I don't know what else I'm going to put on there, but love this old wallpaper. That will work. Flapper lady, maybe. I don't know if I'm going to like this, but let's see. Oh, come on. It's always tricky to tear stuff when it's too close to the edge. You know, you don't want to, like I don't want to tear her little bag or any of that. Covering up all those little roses, doing it that way. Could come over this way a little more. Yeah, I don't like that. Okay, next idea. Let's see. Kind of like this lady that's sitting. That might work a little bit better. We can try it anyway. I need to cut my fingernails. They're getting out of control. As you can tell, I don't mess with my fingernails a whole lot. I probably should, but I just, other things to do. And then my hands are always in something, paint, water, they've got glue all over them, whatever. So it's like, I just don't really mess with any of that painting of nails. I never have the patience to paint them and then wait for them to dry and all that either. It drives me batty. I'll stitch around this card just to maybe put a little fabric at the top to make it look pretty. Some lace. Lace would be good. I used to do my nails all the time when I was in high school. I always had my nails done, but I guess I enjoyed it then. Like, I liked painting them. It was kind of my art outlet maybe or something. I don't know. But anyway, I did do them then. I just don't do it anymore. Alright. Because I do this stuff instead. I just saw that little piece of music sitting over there and thought that might look kind of fun. And I ended up covering up all the ink dye that I did. So probably this will be the last thing I'll put on there. But that's what we do. Layers. Layers on layers on layers, and sometimes stuff just gets covered. That works. Alright, and then when it's stitched around and a little piece of lace up there, that will be good. So I'll go ahead and put that in the book. Oh, I wanted to tell you guys that pocket I made yesterday, I did make it a little bit wide. So even though my envelope was the right size for a page, I tilted these enough that these were hanging over the page on the sides. I just tore them to make it fit, because luckily that works with this design. But just think about that. If you make one of these, you might want a tiny bit smaller envelope, or just make sure that you're kind of keeping it right along the edges. I just didn't even think of that when I put those in. So see, this is how I'm going to do it, and then slip it into one of those plastic sleeves to put in a binder. I just haven't got the plastic sleeves yet and all that jazz. So, and I just have them clipped on there for now. I don't know if I'll glue them in there or not. I kind of want it to be able to change or move around or whatever type thing. And this has a sticker on the back, so I'm just going to go ahead and stick the whole thing down. I'm not going to worry about having a pocket behind it. This is pretty lightweight paper, this ledger, so I don't want too much weight on there anyway, and I think it's enough with this. So I know I'm taking up writing space, right? But you know, that's kind of just the way these are, these journals. But you add a little more with the card in there, so it's not like there's nowhere to write at all. And I do have a lot of tucks and things, so like that little April pocket, I'll show you guys in just a minute. I made it so that you could put a little tuck of paper up there too, so that would be another little spot to write. I think I am going to kind of get over in the corner a little bit, just so that there is some writing space. Every time I hear a truck, I look to see if it's that, the Glowforge. I'm excited to get that. I know I probably haven't sounded super excited. I am super excited. I'm just a little apprehensive as well because there's a lot of computer stuff that goes into that, and y'all know me and computers. I can barely, you know, edit and like get stuff printed out and whatever. So I'm a little bit scared of that part, but I guess it's not supposed to be super complicated, and I do have my tech guys. Sorry, I needed a drink there. So hopefully all together we'll be able to figure it out. That's the only thing that kind of scares me about it. I'm excited to do stuff on it, but I just hope I can figure it out. Alright, so there's those. So then we need June. And I made this ages and ages and ages ago for a video. I think I did a video on that. I don't know, like I said, it was probably 2 years ago. But, you know, that whole kind of Victorian Valentine look is what I was going for there with that. But, you know, as a wedding card front or something. But anyway, I decided I might like to make it into a pocket because it's just sitting in my box of ephemera stuff. And I thought it could make a cool pocket. I'll put a little notch in it and then something could go in there. I'm wondering though, I don't think that'd be too hard to write on because it's not, yeah, it's pretty smooth. So let's do that. I need to ink around this as well. I did go ahead and just leave those borders on there. They could be cut off, but it's kind of a nice deep pocket. Yeah, I did that just by, there's little foam dots under the doily here, so there's doily underneath the foam dots, and then I added the Victorian, and that's Tim Holtz, those paper dolls. So that's all that is. I should have put the notch in before I inked it. I'm such a dope. Do this. This little punch is wonderful. Thank you, Robin. Makes it a lot easier to do the notches. I think that's the middle. Hope so. So that goes there, and that's a nice deep pocket. I like that idea. Definitely could put a few pieces of paper in there, probably. Coffee dyed or whatnot. Or, you know, just to keep things you need to keep through the year. There's always like pieces of paper that wander around my house. See, I really should keep this and use it to keep track of myself, but I'll probably end up selling it. My daughter did give me a Baby Yoda or the Child or Grogu. We're big nerds, so we like Star Wars. I was a kid, excuse me, coughing, in the 70s when that movie came out, and yeah, that was big stuff when I was a kid. And so it's been kind of fun to see. I don't love all the newer versions. Like some of the stuff they did in the movies, I like the originals the best. I think that's pretty normal, especially when it's from when you're a child. But anyway, I do like the Mandalorian with the Baby Yoda, or Grogu is his name, we just found out. But anyway, I'm a nerd. Put a little extra glue on that. It felt like it was kind of to lift off of there. So yeah, I mean, you obviously would not have to put wedding stuff with yours if you don't want to, because it just June you kind of associate with weddings, I think is why there's always images like that. But I love that pocket or that card front, and I just never used it, so I thought, you know, it would make a cute pocket in there. So that's what I did. Next we have July, and I don't have any real ideas for July. But I'm wondering if I should go ahead and sew in this signature. That might be a good thing to do, because it's starting to get kind of floppy and full. Sorry, I'm just grabbing my junk over here to do this. These single signatures, words, are pretty easy to do if I can find my book cradle, because the biggest thing is just making sure you've got all the pages where you want them. So I'm thinking there isn't a whole lot in the center. I don't think any of those pockets are going to bug anything. Oh, this is what I was going to show you. See, you can tuck a little something up in that, because it's a little tuck as well. So then you can have a couple pieces of paper there. I think everything's good. Oh, I thought about putting an envelope in the center. I don't know what envelope I want there. Like, I might want one printed. I think I'll do that. I'll be back in just a minute. I'm going to find an envelope to go right here, and I'll come right back and show you guys how I'll put that in. Okay, so I printed out a piece of paper from my cabinet cards digi, because that's kind of what I used in the background. Well, not kind of, that is what I used for a lot of it. So I just went ahead and printed one of those out, and I turned it into, you know, used it on my envelope punch board, or put it on my envelope punch board and made an envelope shape here. So we're just going to fold that up, but we're not going to glue it, because we're going to stitch it into the binding, and then we'll glue it, which I'm sure a lot of you do, but if you don't, if you're new, this is a way to put an envelope in there, you know, and kind of permanently without gluing the back. So I think I want it to go this direction, and I'm going to trim this off. I don't like it when those stick way up high like that. It looks weird. So, and you could line this. I think I'm just going to ink it on the inside. I'm going to try to cut a straight line, so wish me luck, because it probably won't happen. Well, it's pretty straight for me. Alright, let's take one of these. And use my Distress ink, since that's what I've used on this before. And we're just going to kind of get all over in here. Let's see. And this isn't super thick, because I've just printed it on copy paper, but I think it'll be fine. We might put a little book page on the inside just to strengthen it a little bit. I'm going to see this part. So. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll use a little bit of book page just to make sure. I don't want to have it be so thin that it just ends up tearing, because that wouldn't be fun. And I'm not going to try to make it look, I mean, I kind of want it to look a little bit haphazard in here. Just want it to strengthen it a little. So I'm just going to kind of take it from here and go all the way down, and then I'll take another piece. I know, why did I do it this way? I don't know, this is just what came to me. There's not always like a rhyme or reason. A lot of it's just whatever strikes me at the moment, or the way I want it. And yes, I'm sure there were better ways to do it, but this is just the way I'm choosing to do it. So I'm going to take this one up here, maybe more like that, and then I'll cut it. And that'll just give me a little strength and a little interest in that envelope. You could print it on a thicker paper, or do double-sided, you know, on a thicker paper, and then you wouldn't have to do this. Or you could line it entirely with like coffee paper or something, coffee dyed paper. That's the awesome part about doing your own journals, is you can do them in whatever style, or, you know, however you like it. Oh my goodness, now it's stuck to my fingers. I'm telling you, that glue seriously sticks. I think maybe I will take it down a little, just so that it's really my two folds right there that I kind of want to strengthen. So. Try a tiny bit more off of this one. Okay, that's just going to give it a little more strength. Get some of those seams a little bit. Maybe. It's always tricky with envelopes. Okay. And we still want our folds to be the same. And it's probably best to wait until it dries, but I'm just going to get this ready to go in there. Okay. I'm going to take one of these clips and use it just to hold this. Maybe not that one, it's way too small. And this will go in here, and that's very tricky, so let's, oh my goodness, Amy. So see, then your envelope is sitting in there, and you can try to even it, you know, to fairly central. Open this. I'm going to try to clip that a little bit with the envelope there, but let's get this here. Make sure I have it going the right direction. Put it in my book cradle. So if you haven't seen these, they're in my shop. A lot of people make them out of wood or, you know, different materials. It's all the same idea. You're just trying to give yourself a place to poke the holes in it. I did use a book for a long time, and it works. It's just I oftentimes would go kind of off the edge, and I wouldn't get the holes directly in the spine, which really drove me kind of nutty. So I kind of drew something out for my husband, and he printed me one on his 3D printer, and so that's now what I use. And then I just have, this is like upholstery thread that I use, and you can just buy it on Amazon. It's not hard to find. It's just a much heavier duty thread that doesn't break as easy as regular thread. I need to find my little needle box. Sorry, I wasn't planning on stitching that in today with you guys, so I just didn't. I have a mess of papers from those collages we did the other day. I have stuff all sitting out for like 4 different projects I got going, so I just have kind of a mess right now. Even though I just did my room, right? And then you want like about 3 roughly lengths of your journal of thread. A lot of people, like I've seen Rachel, she just leaves it attached to her spool, but I struggle enough without having it attached to my spool. So I just don't want to add to my frustration, so I just cut it, which I probably end up wasting a lot more than she does, but for my own sanity's sake, I just do that way. Okay, just looking to see about where we're at. All right, and so when you're doing just one signature, you can kind of guesstimate the center and all that. You don't have to be quite as diligent. If you're doing more than one signature, you really want to have everything measured out on a piece of paper where exactly you're going to poke those three, you know, the holes for each signature. And I'm going right through everything, going through the book, I'm going through paper, everything, okay? And then you're going to come down about an inch to, you know, poke the next hole from the top. And all the Cradle does, like I said, is help you keep your holes in the right spot. That was my printer, sorry if you could hear it. And Posh's little nose wheezing over there. He's sitting on the stool watching the printer because I printed something, so he finds that fascinating. Okay, so now I don't need my Cradle to do this part. So see, I don't know if you can see, but my holes are right on where the fold is. My stitching isn't for perfect, but so I'm going through that center hole and out. And then I find my hole at the top and I go in that hole. Maybe if I can see. Oh, that's not the hole, that's why. Like I said, if I could see. Okay, and see it's coming out this way. And then I go all the way down to the bottom hole. Just make sure you don't pull that piece of thread all the way out. Down to the bottom hole and out. And then I come back in through this middle hole. And a few people do this differently, and it doesn't matter. You can do it however it works best for you. Oops, where did it go? So if you poke it through and you don't see it in your center, just come back out. Sorry, I was afraid that string was going to go all the way through. And try to get it in the right spot again. Because sometimes it just gets under one of the pages, and that makes it tricky. And I'm coming in under the envelope somehow. Probably because the envelope isn't super held in very well. So let's see if I put my hand here. There we go. So I just put my hand in and put a little pressure on that envelope in the middle, and that helped me get it through all the layers. Okay, so let's see. You need to have one string on either side of that central string. So you just want to make sure that you get one on this side of this center string and one on this side of the center string. And I like to take my clips off at this point, because otherwise I find that sometimes I don't get it as tight as I want it if I leave the clips on. And I lift it a little bit, but everybody does this different too, and it's just preference really. It just helps me get it nice and taut, because you want those strings to kind of end up like almost like guitar strings. Okay, and then I'm just going to do a little bow, but you don't have to, especially if you're doing this, because honestly it's in the envelope, so it's not going to matter. But this is just the way I do it if I'm not, you know, all the time. And then I add a little dot of glue, and I try to make sure it's not necessarily touching the page, but more just the knot itself. And you don't have to do that, it's not necessary, that's just the way I do it. And then cut these so they'll be inside the envelope. Okay, and then you can close up your envelope and glue it. I forgot to ink my envelope, so I'm going to get a little bit, I got too busy messing with the inside. everybody's got kind of a different style, and it's good to watch different makers, because, you know, you might like the way somebody else does it better, or you might like the way I do it, or whatever, but it becomes just really personal preference. I'm just going to put a little glue on here. These go on the, no, these go on the inside. What am I doing? Like, how does an envelope work? For some reason I always get that backwards. I don't know why, but I do. So I'm going to put a little glue on here. Or maybe those do go on the outside. I don't know. That looks fine. See? Get it all screwed up. I think you see envelopes all the time. You know what they look like, right? And then this is going to fold over. And you could, if you wanted to, like put a little something there to, got a little extra piece of paper right here. Okay. And there, it's all stitched in. Yeah, I really love that cover. It is great. Alright, so I hope that was helpful. Or maybe you want to watch somebody else do it. But anyway, at any rate, I hope you liked the pockets, and I hope you have an awesome day. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. And we will chat again tomorrow. Bye-bye.